Once upon a time, in a tranquil valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there lived a monk named Jin. He spent his days in a small bamboo hut by the river, leading a simple life focused on meditation, mindfulness, and harmony with nature. Jin had devoted himself to the practice of Buddhism with unwavering determination, seeking enlightenment and understanding the nature of life. One morning, as he meditated by the riverbank, he noticed 3 men in a boat traversing the river. They looked worn and weary, their clothes tattered and faces grim. Despite their weariness, their eyes lit up with excitement as they approached a lush fruit tree laden with vibrant, ripe fruits on the bank. The tree also bore blossoms that swayed gently in the breeze, creating a picturesque scene. It was a sight that stirred longing within each of the men. "Look at those fruits!" exclaimed the man at the front of the boat, a stout fellow with a scruffy beard. "We must have some." He brandished an axe he had carelessly kept beside him. The 2 other men murmured in agreement, their mouths watering at the thought of tasting the sweet fruits. Without hesitation, the first man brought the axe down on the tree's sturdy branch, cutting it with a force that reverberated through the air. The fruits tumbled into the boat, and each man grabbed one eagerly, devouring them with fervor. Jin observed silently, sensing an undercurrent of tension in their actions. The joy on their faces quickly turned to dismay, however, as dark clouds rolled in above them. The wind howled, kicking up white caps on the river's surface. Suddenly, a fierce storm erupted, tossing the small boat from side to side. Jin, seeing the chaos unfold, felt a wave of compassion wash over him for the men who had been so focused on their immediate desires. As the boat rocked perilously in the rapid waves, the man at the back of the boat yelled, "We must row to shore. This storm will swallow us." But the man in the front, lost in his delight over the fruits, paid no heed. "What are you talking about? This fruit is delicious. Look, we are blessed," he laughed, holding his half-eaten fruit high into the air, as if it were a trophy. The second man joined in. "Yes, let us enjoy these fruits. Surely, we can ride out this storm. There is no need for concern." His voice was spirited, but a shadow of unease flickered across his face. With frantic waves crashing around them, the man at the back found himself growing desperate. "You foolish men," he shouted above the storm. "Your appetite will be our undoing. Put down the fruits and row." But it was too late. The boat bucked violently, capsizing in the churning water as the 2 unfocused men clung to their treasures. The river roared on, swallowing the boat and its crew. The man at the back, who had been tirelessly rowing and trying to steer the others towards safety, fought against the waves and managed to swim to the bank. Soaked and breathless, he looked around for his companions, shockwaves coursing through his mind. Their greed and distraction had led to disaster, and he felt a profound sadness for them. As the storm passed and sunlight broke through, he knelt on the bank, reflecting on the lesson he had learned that day. Meanwhile, on a nearby hillside, Jin observed the scene unfolding before him. He felt a deep sorrow for the men, but he remembered that even in tragedy, there is a path to wisdom. He climbed down the slope towards the riverbank, where he found the man who had successfully swum to safety, shivering and trembling from the shock. "You have done well to survive, my friend," Jin remarked gently, sitting down beside the man. "But now, tell me, did the fruits nourish you more than your well-being?" The man looked at Jin, puzzled by the question. I chased after the fruits instead of watching the river. I let my thirst for pleasure overtake my instincts for survival, and now they are gone. I am alone, while my friends are lost to the waters." Jin nodded slowly. Sometimes, as we pursue material longings, we become blind to the forces of life surrounding us. He gazed into the now tranquil waters as they sparkled in the recovering sunlight. The storm is much like life itself, unpredictable and filled with lessons. What we seek may lead us away from our true purpose. The man felt the weight of Jin's words resonating within him. "I see it now. In my pursuit of momentary pleasure, I lost sight of my duties to steer us to safety. I was so consumed by my desires that I ignored the rising storm." Tears filled his eyes as he lamented the loss of his companions. Jin laid a comforting hand on the man's shoulder. Grief is an essential part of the journey towards self-discovery, but in times of loss, we can also find revelations. By acknowledging our missteps, we lay the foundation for growth. Life is not solely about desires. It is about our choices, our awareness of the present, and our responsibility to each other. Taking a deep breath, Jean continued, "Consider each moment as a precious fruit. Relish it, but don't lose yourself in it. Balance is the key. Let the memories of your friends guide you toward a more mindful life." As the sun began to set, painting the skies with hues of orange and pink, the man began to feel a flicker of hope. He spoke softly to Jean. "I want to honor their memory and change my path. I wish to learn to navigate this river of life more intentionally." "In every challenge lies an opportunity for self-improvement," Jean encouraged. "Embrace the lessons that come both in times of joy and in sadness. In doing so, the lost will live on in your wisdom." With newfound determination, the man reflected upon his life choices. He had been gifted a chance to begin again. As the waters calmed, he promised himself that he would strive to share the wisdom gained from his experience. He would navigate his future with mindfulness, awareness, and a balanced perspective, appreciating and respecting the transitory nature of life. Weeks later, he returned to the village nearby, settled down, and became a teacher to those willing to learn the value of presence and responsibility. He spoke of the storm that had turned the tide of his life. He shared the story of 3 men and a boat, of sweet fruits and hard lessons, and how one man's folly became a beacon of hope for others. Through his teachings, he kindled the flames of insight within many hearts. He encouraged them to recognize that every choice we make can lead us closer to enlightenment, and every experience, both good and bad, is an opportunity for growth. In conclusion, may this story inspire us to recognize the fruits of our journey through life. Remember that self-improvement comes not only from seeking pleasures, but also from understanding our failures and learning from our past. Each moment is a chance to find balance. May we embrace the lessons of both storms and still waters, which shape us into wiser beings. Appreciate the sweetness of life's experiences while remaining aware of the currents that surround us. Embrace the pursuit of knowledge and the unfolding tapestry of wisdom, for within those lessons lies the true essence of enlightenment.